Your past does not define you. Your present does. It's what you do right now in this very moment that changes everything. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sherry. I'm a prophetic mentor and coach. I post weekly faith-based content to help women heal from emotional wounds and find hope through Christ after toxic relationships. I would love to give a huge thank you to all of my amazing followers and a warm welcome to those who are new to my channel. If you enjoy the content, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Romans 15:4 reminds us that everything written in the past serves a purpose, to teach us endurance and to provide us hope through the scriptures. Now, what I believe Apostle Paul is saying here is that the stories and the characters from the Old Testament are not just historical accounts. They're actually lessons for our lives to this day. Now, in the story of Ruth, we really get to see this amazing blend of hope, resilience, and faith, especially after experiencing such a tough loss. So for those of you who have just broken up with your partner, or you're going through a difficult divorce, or maybe you even lost a loved one, Ruth reminds us that there's always a way forward. Today, I want to dive into how we can apply 3 powerful truths from Ruth's story to healing from narcissistic abuse. The first powerful truth that we can learn from Ruth's story is that she chose faith over fear. If you're coming out of a toxic relationship, it is completely normal to feel scared in so many different ways. You might be afraid to trust again. You might be afraid to dream again. And you definitely might be afraid of love again. But there's something really inspiring that we can learn from Ruth's story. Even after losing her husband and facing an uncertain future, Ruth chose to hold on to faith instead of letting fear take over. She trusted God's plan and she followed Naomi to a new land, not really knowing what was up ahead. 2 Timothy 1:7 reminds us that God did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. Now, honestly, how many of us can say that sometimes we wrestle with fear? I know I struggled with this for a very long time. Y'all, even after I did the inner work and the healing, I still found myself stuck sometimes, both mentally and physically, tied to a place that didn't serve me anymore. And it wasn't until I made the decision to let go and trust that God had something better for my life. That's when I started to see new opportunities pop up, and I haven't looked back since. Now, this teaches us that even when we're dealing with our own losses, we can still choose faith. We can trust that God has a plan for our future that's filled with hope. But here's the thing, we gotta believe it. It takes some serious work to renew our minds and shift our perspective, but it's so worth it. So, if you're feeling lost or you're feeling scared right now, just remember Ruth's story. You can choose faith too. The second powerful truth that we can learn from Ruth's story is that God can redeem the time. Y'all, God is a total redeemer of time. Seriously, He has supreme authority and power over everything that's already happened, what's happening now, and what's yet to come. It's like He's the ultimate director of our lives, calling the shots, and He's been doing this all throughout history. Man may seem like they have power, but at the end of the day, God has control and gets the final say. Let's think about it. He crafts our callings with our setbacks in mind. A lot of times we get stuck with doubt because of the stories we tell ourselves about our mistakes. We end up making our failures feel like they're in charge when really God is the one who has the last word. Let's look at Ruth and Boaz, for example. Boaz becomes Ruth's redeemer, showing us that God can bring redemption even after we face great loss. Ruth's life changed, and it took a turn for the better because of her faith and her perseverance through tough times. James 1:12 reminds us to consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. You know, it really shows that we can totally trust God's timing. He has this amazing way of turning our pain into purpose and flipping our losses into gains, especially when we cling to our faith and keep hope alive. Just look at Ruth. She never gave up hope, and neither should we. We can all hold on to the belief that a future filled with new opportunities, love, and restoration is out there waiting for us. God has a way of surprising us with unexpected blessings and new beginnings right when we least expect them. The third powerful truth that we can learn from Ruth's story is to remain loyal and take the necessary steps. If you're looking to build a better future after experiencing a tough loss, it's all about showing God through our actions. The Bible really drives this point home when it says that faith without works is dead. Just look at Ruth. She didn't just sit around waiting for her life to get better. She didn't sit around complaining about how horrible her circumstances were. Instead, she rolled up her sleeves and she worked in Boaz's field, making herself known. But she did that to support herself and Naomi. Ruth had the chance to go back to her homeland, go back to the job, go back to the old friends, go back to all that you know is sinful, but she decided to stay put. You feel me? This shows us that hope isn't just about wishing for things to change. It's about taking real action steps forward in faith and trusting that God will lead us towards healing and restoration. Staying loyal to God, our values, and the people that He places in our lives is key. And you know what? When we do this, we often find ourselves on the receiving end of unexpected blessings. So let's take action and watch how God works in our lives. So when we finally apply these principles from Ruth's story to our lives, we can find healing and hope for a better future, especially after experiencing loss and especially after narcissistic abuse. Now, if you're going through a very tough time right now and you're looking for a prophetic mentor or coach to help you build an emotional roadmap to recovery, click on the link in the description box to schedule a clarity call with me and let's get started. I'm wishing you all a week full of love, joy, and hope.